Trump promised us so many good things about crypto that he's going to do, which is all verbal. So it's all blah, blah. It's all great. It's nice.
This is a changing paradigm, so nobody will believe in their words anymore.
You have to always understand that when you're in the market as a retail player, you don't control the market. It controls you. What proves this concept is the Trump coin. Look at the price action of Trump coin. They launch it. It goes to $80 just to dump down to $15. They don't give about the fact that billions of dollars of Americans were lost in this. Do I need to say more?
What do you think about the crypto in the US, how it will be in this year?
I do believe that Bitcoin is going to go to 100,000. The question is how low it's going to go before it does. What Democrats don't understand is that the dollar is dying, and it's going to die.
I have a special guest, Thomas.
Yes.
Hey,
how are you?
One of the craziest traders on the market who always short Bitcoin and is for the millions of dollars.
Not always. I learned my lesson, yeah.
Really?
Yes.
So what was your biggest loss in one trade?
In one trade, I think recently, especially in the manipulation of Ethereum, that was in one day minus 700,000 on just Ethereum trade. But all things considered...
700,000?
Yes, in one day. So
I like the size of it, right?
All things considered that I had some profit, so
Okay.
I closed it with an actual loss of about 100,000. But
At this moment, do you feel this? Oh my God, I spent so much time doing this
1 year. Yeah,
one year, and now I lost all my profit in one day.
Yeah, that's why you diversify. That's why you build cash flow. That's why you do other things that it's painful and you kind of have expected one thing from the market. And I think that's also one of the reasons why the market is going down, because of the expectations of the cycle, which is not happening. So, but on the other hand, you have to always understand that when you're in the market as a retail player, you don't control the market. It controls you.
Yeah.
So you it still is painful, but you got to learn just the basic fact.
So why do you call this movement to the 201,000 manipulation on Ethereum?
We can analyze this together. So Trump promised us so many good things about crypto that he's going to do, which is all verbal. So it's all blah, blah. It's all great. It's nice. That's why Bitcoin pumped in November, when he won the election. But on the other hand, what he did was on a Friday...
Sells the rumors by the facts.
The crypto crashed. It wasn't the problem of crypto.
Yeah, it was a problem of trade wars.
Of trade wars and tariffs.
Yeah.
And he did it on a Friday.
On evening Friday.
Friday.
All the markets, Asia, Europe was closed. Yeah.
So S&P 500 dumped a little bit, crypto dumped a little bit, and then we go into the weekend when there is no man's land, and then guess what? On a Sunday night, during the night, as usual, the last cascading liquidation was also on a Sunday because they manipulated. They know that they can manipulate the price with lower liquidity and emptier order books. They dumped out of it. Everybody just panics, gets out. Maybe they even got shocked that they got it so low. But then, on the next day, you look at it on Monday, and somehow Mexico situation is resolved. Canada situation is resolved. Eric Trump, the son of the president, comes out and says, it's a great time to buy Ethereum. He posted it on Twitter. And then they also said that David Sachs, who is the crypto czar, is going to be speaking on behalf, like a press conference on behalf of the United States and the future of digital assets in the US. So, and they announced it all on Monday. And then guess what? Who bought $200 million worth of Ethereum during this cascading liquidation event? Trump's World Liberty. Trump did. Trump bought the dip for $200 million. Do I need to say more?
Okay. No, it's just the facts. I saw this information, so I'm 100% agree. And what is your plans for the trading? Do you plan to trade anymore?
I'm actually long now, all things considered.
Really?
But I'm I'm very careful. I have stop losses. So I'm not doing one of those swing trades. I'm doing active trades with shorter stop losses.
Yeah,
and
sure.
if we do a big pump, I'll just put my stop loss into no loss and just hope that this is the beginning of the finale of the old season. But if it's not, it dumps, maybe I can lose a few percent, but that's about it. So I'm being very cautious and very careful, because even if Eric Trump came out and said it's time to buy Ethereum, it doesn't mean.
It does mean, it means that maybe you are exit liquidity.
Maybe you're going to be exit liquidity, because guess what? What proves this concept is the Trump coin. Look at the price action of Trump coin. They launch it. It goes to $80 just to dump down to $15. They don't give about the fact that billions of dollars of Americans were lost in this. All they had to do is maybe tweet something, say something, which is going to, support the price, because it's a meme coin. It's got no utility. It's got to be supported by the community and by something verbal. So they don't do it. They don't give a. So it means that trusting any word out there is very challenging.
Do you think this is a change in paradigm, so nobody will believe in their worlds anymore? Or after the green candles, people forget everything?
I think that, well, it's always like this. So people will forget everything after a candle on Ethereum of 50% in a day. They will forget. They will start jumping into it. I think that the cycle in general is changing. I think that so many institutionals are at play, and all things considered, we have so much positivity.
But we have no growth.
But Bitcoin is at 100,000.
Yeah, that means that somebody sold.
Somebody's selling.
Somebody's selling, yeah.
Or there is price suppression, which is similar terminology. But in my opinion, what is happening right now is we expected a big run when Trump was, well, even before, we were expecting a Christmas rally.
Yeah.
So December, nothing happened.
Yeah.
January, nothing happened.
February again.
Same. So right now, a lot of the old holders who were holding like the true crypto ones that are used to the cycles, and they were burnt when they, took Bitcoin maybe from 10,000 all the way to 69,000 to write it down just again to 15,000. And right now they're scared because they just were going through so much that they're like, okay, maybe, I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to take my 5x, 10x, whatever. I'm not going to be believing in this $1 million per Bitcoin. I will just take my money now. And I think that this is because the cycle is different and they're scared of it because they were just burnt just literally a year or 2 years ago. So I think that it also has a big impact besides the fact that retail just doesn't have much money in comparison to the COVID time, and delinquency rates on credit cards and overall debt on credit cards, 1.3 trillion. It's insane. People ain't got no money. Inflation is going to be getting worse. It's changing definitely. And the big players are at the steering wheel now, which is arguably not a good thing, but long term, it's good. Long term.
Yeah.
It's always the question of, I do believe that Bitcoin is going to go to 100,000. The question is how low it's going to go before it does.
If the market has changed, what is the best strategy to build wealth? I don't know, right here, right now in 2025. Is it crypto, or you are looking for the different type of the assets or different type of the products, or maybe you decided to become an infrastructure product and collect a fee from every transaction?
The last time when I was on your podcast, I think it was on your podcast when I said that the best asset in the world isn't crypto or stocks or cash, it's people.
Yeah.
And people is business. So I think that the best asset, and that is something you can control. You can have some impact over and influence. So I still believe that Bitcoin is the soundest asset, and Ethereum as well, for the ecosystem of the entire crypto industry. But overall, I think that outside of the spectrum of long-term investments, the second best is business.
What do you think about the attention economy? Can you explain it, these principles, in a few words? Because you are so influential anyway.
I'm not that
as me.
Yeah. I'm not even sure what that is.
Really? Because a lot of people more and more talking about this. It's like now, if you have a lot of, I cannot say followers like Trump, like attention economy. This is the example of the attention economy, where you just tweet something.
Okay, so you mean news-driven price action?
News-driven, yeah.
It's always been like this. Like a lot of people are always saying, now I understand what you mean, but so it's always been like this in terms of the stock market. If they have, even with, I don't know, Elon Musk, if he tweets something about a certain company, the stock will pump.
He tweets so much every day.
Yeah, but I mean, he still has a lot of influence.
Yeah.
It's always been like this for the eternity. I mean, look at what happened with JP Morgan. They paid fines for it. They manipulated the silver market.
Yeah.
For so many years. And they kept even calculating, they got to make much more money on the manipulation or on the fines. But it's therefore, if you call it attention economy, interesting term, I should Google it. Anyway, it's the same thing. So it's just become more vivid with the crypto industry and all the meme coins, which have no value. But I think it brought a lot of new users to crypto, but I don't think it's going to continue for much longer.
Do you trade any meme coins, or you have any portfolio? You do.
Yeah, I mean, in this cascading liquidation event, I lost like $120,000 on Trump coin. So old man owes me a little bit of money now. Just kidding. It was my mistake with it.
I get it. So, you are sitting in a cap of EVEDEX.
Yeah.
What does that mean? This is a new product, or what?
EVEDEX, it's everything we've built in the last 5 years. It's all coming together under one umbrella, which is EVEDEX, which is our own decentralized exchange. So it's basically the same, in simple terms, it's the same as Binance or Bybit or OKX, but decentralized. So it means that it's got all the same features, the same affiliate system for KOLs and influencers. It's got copy trading, futures, spot, debit cards, P2P, but it's based, instead of a centralized entity, it is fully decentralized. So it has on-chain settlement, and we're building it on Arbitrum Orbit and L3. So therefore, we're not regulated as a centralized exchange, and it promotes transparency, because a lot of exchanges, they see all the orders and they can manipulate the price a little bit. In our case, it's blockchain. So it's actually blockchain-driven exchange and ecosystem. So it's actually fully verifiable in terms of every price movement of the price on the assets. It's basically something that is available. It actually is true crypto nature. If you deposit your money into Binance, you trust this money to their hot wallets.
Binance.
So it's not your money anymore. So it's not really true crypto stuff. It's kind of a mix. With a DEX, decentralized trading solution, you actually self-custody your assets while you're trading futures or spot or whatever. You're using the chain. So even if EVEDEX.com dies, the website goes off, there is protocols you can follow to withdraw your money from the chain, because it's self-custody under you and your seed phrase. The only difference with EVEDEX is that we have social login, we have two-factor authentication, and all this stuff that people are used to in terms of user interface.
So do you think that the time of the DEX has already come?
It's now, yeah.
It's now.
Yeah, because of MiCA regulation, because of the regulation in the United States, because of the impossibility of trading freely, of owning your assets, and being constantly afraid of asset freezes and other really just bad stuff. Factually, we see such a huge flow of volume from centralized exchanges into decentralized exchanges.
Oh, really?
There is direct correlation. Just because people cannot, like people from Europe can barely trade anywhere. People from United States is the same thing.
But they want.
Of course, yeah. So, and DEXs in general and DeFi actually gives them this
opportunity,
right. Yeah. The only thing you have to make sure you do is KYT and AML, so you don't turn out the cash, so you don't accept some North Korean money or whatever. And that's it. So the chain automatically rejects it.
But how does it work for the European citizen? You need to buy some ETH or Bitcoin or USDT, and then you can trade on DEX.
I mean, for example, through EVEDEX, you can buy Bitcoin, you can sell Bitcoin or Ethereum, you can hold it in your EVEDEX wallet, which is also decentralized.
Okay.
Because when you log into EVEDEX, it generates you automatically a decentralized wallet address.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to use Ledger or MetaMask, you can immediately move it to Ledger, MetaMask, or Binance account if you want to, or you can actually even connect your Ledger with USDT to EVEDEX and trade futures while holding your USDT in your cold storage. So you don't need to trust EVEDEX at all, in theory.
It's really ambitious to start to build a new DEX in 2024, 2025. What will make you different? Because it's a user interface, it's, derivatives, because we see all this rise and falls of the platforms like GMX.
If you look at most of our competitors, IEVO, DYDX, Hyperliquid did fantastic.
Hyperliquid did fantastic, yeah.
They did absolutely fantastic. But remember why they did fantastic. They did fantastic because the owner is the owner of a very popular HFT fund. So he was able to attract a lot of big players and big traders from the United States. So while it's a DEX, but it's not really built for retail. Their user interface is not as friendly, and they're more oriented towards big players with big checks. If you look at something more retail-oriented, and they also don't even have a mobile app. People always use mobile apps. If you look at, for example, DYDX or IEVO, they're a bit more user-friendly in terms of retail, but not a single one of them offers proper affiliate marketing system. So KOLs and influencers they don't have a reason to promote the DEX. Because let's be honest, even Bybit was built mostly by influencers. Billions of dollars of volume. I know myself because I hold anywhere from 0.2 to 0.4 of all Bybit's derivatives trading volume, because I've been promoting them for 3 years now.
1.2?
0.2 to 0.4.
Oh, 0.2. It's a lot.
Yeah, so it's it might not sound like much, but for just one person, it's something. When I was looking at different alternatives as to how I can bring more users, because for any influencer, FTDs are important, first-time deposits. And when there is so much regulation and it's so oversaturated that everybody has a Bybit account, everybody has a Binance account, it makes it very difficult to grow your volume. So I started looking into DEX space just to work with the DEX. I didn't find a single DEX, and there still isn't one, that has all the attributes and user interface of a centralized exchange. So no bullshit with bridges and some gas fee native token stuff, and also has copy trading, debit cards, and a good affiliate system that is compatible and can compete with the offerings from centralized exchanges such as Bybit or Binance, all in one place. And EVEDEX is actually the answer.
And now talking about the affiliate system, you plan to share some of the commission that you will get from every trade?
Yes, so from every trade, but unlike centralized exchanges, we also offer commissions automatically on debit cards, on P2P, on
everything.
Whatever EVEDEX makes money from. We're gonna at some point are gonna have staking, Launchpad. We're gonna have the entire lineup. We're also gonna have a $27 or whatever subscription plan, which enables you to have some discounts on debit cards and also full access to our learning center, where you can learn everything from portfolio management to blockchain in general to trading actively to all the education you need, and also even spirituality and stuff. So there's everything, like 20 different courses, all for $27 a month as a benefit. So if an influencer brings a person who is trading and then they see, oh, there is a subscription, I can go learn how to trade properly, for example, they will also get the same sizes of a commission lifetime from all the products, even the learning center.
When it will be launched? Because I saw that it's already in a test net.
It's in test net.
But when user can join and try?
I think that the retail user probably April.
Probably April.
April, May, when it's going to be like full on available and unlimited.
And me as an affiliate, may I publish a referral link right here, right now, after our podcast?
Yes, you can. You can download the app, you can copy your affiliate link, and then whomever is actually brought to EVEDEX already in the testnet will be under you forever.
You know, I just remember that I was one of the first users maybe on a Bybit because I had a Bybit testnet account in my Google notification platform, because it was no mainnet really at Bybit at all at the time. So I registered there. How do you plan to solve the problem of liquidity? Because the problem of all the exchanges except maybe Binance and Coinbase, this is a problem of liquidity. On the DEXs, it works in a different way. Usually they use the pools of liquidity like as Meteor or maybe for the Solana and other like this. Because for me also as an investor, I will be interested in providing liquidity for you so I can earn a lot of fees.
Well, it's one of the biggest problems for DEXs in general. For DEXs, the big problem is user interface, so the bridges and making it easy. So we solve that. Then the second problem, which we had to, because we understood that there is an issue with liquidity on DEXs in general. So this was the first thing we had to solve before we would even build anything, because I've invested millions of dollars into EVEDEX. I wouldn't do it unless I knew the liquidity would be good. How we solve it? Well, first of all, EVEDEX is a hybrid. So it uses on-chain settlement on our own L3 rollup, but the matching engine is centralized.
Okay.
So therefore, it is the same matching engine that is similar to, for example, on Bybit or Binance, etc. But in terms of liquidity, so it already kind of solves partly the problem of liquidity, because if you're trying to decentralize the order book, it's going to be always crap. So that's why we are not trying to decentralize the order book itself. So which means that we can pool the liquidity. We actually have signed already 2 liquidity providers, which I don't know if I can disclose.
It doesn't matter. No worries.
Yeah, so we have liquidity providers. We have a certain launch plan for the extension of a certain step threshold of how many people we can let in per month. So the first month we will let in 500 people, then 1,000 people, 2,000 people. So they will start generating their own liquidity on the inside as well.
It will be some dynamic commission, because if you will not have enough liquidity, you will need to attract more. If you need to attract more, you need to pay more.
No, of course. So that's why that's why we're currently finalizing our technical audits as well as financial audits to make sure that it all works properly and also makes sense. And for example, even the liquidation mechanisms work properly. But yes, for market makers, liquidity providers, we have special deals.
So it will be automated market making or regular one?
See, I think that it's
more about
hybrid.
Technical stuff, I know.
Yeah.
I get it.
So
who will be the beneficiary of all the liquidations on a DEX exchange?
So this is a very sensitive topic, I suppose, because all the exchanges don't like to talk about liquidations whatsoever. In all honesty, like every exchange out there, even if they say they don't make any money from liquidations, we know very well.
They do not make money directly. They make it via the internal market makers, because exchange is quite complexity business where you need to measure all the risks, and also you need to resize and hedge your positions, because some people sell, some people sold, and then you have a difference. You need to hedge it on another exchange, and then it's not like we trade inside the exchange and they put all our money. No, because it's too risky for them.
But we, even with EVEDEX, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be also, for example, if somebody's putting a big order for a long on EVEDEX, we're going to be having maybe Binance, Bybit, or whatever.
You will also have.
Yes. So we're going to hedge it. Yes. So for different purposes. But
that's why you call it hybrid.
Yes. So, and this also enables us to have the opportunity to stay flexible depending on the change of volatility. So that's why we chose the hybrid approach. Because when you're trying to decentralize it fully, it's going to break apart. It's not reliable. Maybe at some point the tech will advance, but for now it's too complicated. And in theory, we will try to do it, but it's going to be much more expensive and it's going to take much more time.
Let's say if I want to trade a new meme coin, let's say Trump coin on a EVEDEX exchange, do I need some Trump coins to provide liquidity or not?
In this instance, I think it always goes as a combination, in my opinion. But this is...
No, again, a more technical question, I know. That
For me, to be honest, I'm not
How many people in it?
In EVEDEX alone, we have 50 people.
50 people. Are the most part of them are technicians?
About 35 people are purely technicians, and the rest is management and project management, but they're also partly technical.
What was the hardest during the
technical team?
Technical team to collect a team, to hire a team.
Yeah. Normally, the team doesn't really come based on the project alone. It comes under a tech lead, the CTO.
Yeah.
So there has to be a synergy. They have to be friends, they have to understand each other. So, and the CTO has to, control kind of, it's his life, it's his place. The hardest thing was for me to find a good CTO, because I had the vision, my advisors and the C-level of my company, because we have other products. We have about 200 employees in total. So we had most of the management, we had marketing, we had operations, but technical, we knew what we need. We knew we wanted to build the DEX. And quite frankly, I spoke to so many really powerful IT guys and I explained to them what I need. And they said that, Thomas, this is going to take 3 years. It's impossible. And we did all of what I've just mentioned in under a year. And it was only thanks to the CTO. So that was the hardest. Honestly, everything was hard.
How many hours do you work per day?
I don't know. I don't calculate. It's my life. I don't. But normally, these days, because of my spirituality and what we discussed off camera, I'm trying to limit it. But normally, I'm zoned in 24/7, 365. I'm trying to kind of step back and make sure that it all functions as an organism. But I still make sure that I have the vector actually put accordingly and correctly.
You are a founder or also a CEO of the project?
I'm not the CEO, no. I'm just as a chief advisor, founder, creator, visionary. Because again,
CVO, chief visionary officer. I like this role. I like this role.
Yeah, because I'm not a CEO. I'm not, a person who sits there, and does all this nitpicking, operations. I'm not a CMO. I understand marketing, but I'm not a crypto CMO. That's why we have a separate, very strong CMO who was at the forefront of marketing strategies at Aptos and Sui and previously worked for Microsoft. And so we have a very, very good team. Same thing for financials. I understand liquidation mechanisms, basic stuff, but
not the technical one.
No.
How do you hire all of these people?
Magic, spirituality.
No, real.
But it takes...
This is a personal content or this is HR department?
Through so many years as a person on social media, I just had so many contacts that honestly, one of the things I can suggest everybody watching this podcast, your network is your net worth. What I've done that actually helped me scale EVEDEX, I sat down, I took my phone, all the contacts, I've created I use Miro for the mind map, and I just scrolled through all the contacts I've accumulated over the last 5 years, and I actually wrote them out one by one, and then I realized I have so many people that I can reach out to, and people helped me. So it was, for example, the CTO I found through the founders of Bloom, Kosterov and Smirkis. So they helped me find the CTO. Yeah, it was all like this, bit by bit, piece by piece, brick by brick, even though we were but we figured it out.
What is the cons of being popular, of being an influencer?
Security. So hate online, which I used to care about it. I don't care much about it. I'm just too busy to care about like this. Also, that you're on a spotlight. So people know you, they know everything about you, they basically can figure out where you live, so there might be privacy issues, security, safety issues.
Do you met some of these troubles or not?
And not really. I've always thought about it ahead of time, because for example, recently we had this co-founder of Ledger.
Yeah.
He was kidnapped and his fingers chopped off for 100 Bitcoin or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, in France. And I was like, okay, so everybody knows who you are. Okay. And you're in France. Which, let's be honest, is not the safest place.
Yeah.
And you don't have private security? How stupid are you? So I didn't need to have a problem to understand that I need to protect myself.
Yeah.
So whenever I go to Europe, I always have armed guards.
Really?
Always. Like when I'm in the US, there is always security with me. When I, for example, flew to Latvia, I had 3 bodyguards with guns with me at all times. Because I'm one of the most famous people in Latvia because I was born in Latvia and I speak Latvian. So I made a lot of content in Latvian recently, and it was not fun in terms of a lot of hate. So for this reason, if I go to Latvia, I always have armed guards. So in Dubai, it's safe, But
why it's safe in Dubai always?
I think the reason is because they take safety here so seriously that if something major happens, there is nowhere to run. There is too many cameras. You cannot really, what, are you going to jump over the mountain in Ras Al Khaimah, or you're going to walk through the Sahara or whatever, the desert? Like, what are you going to do? So, and they have cameras literally everywhere. Like even 100 kilometers out of the city, there is still cameras. And if something happens, you will be found and you will face the music. In the United States, people, jump over the fence.
There is no cameras.
There are, but it's so limited. There's so much crime. It's so it's crazy. So it's just pandemonium. It's just, that's why Dubai, I think, is just the safest place right now in general.
What do you think about the crypto in the US? How it will be in this year?
After Trump coin, after the manipulation.
After Melania coin manipulation.
I don't know. I don't want to say much about it, but I think it should be good. I mean, strategic Bitcoin reserve and SEC, Gary Gensler is gone. And the fact that right now any lawsuit of SEC needs to go through Trump directly. So they're completely changing the landscape. 22 states as of today are applying for on a state level for strategic Bitcoin reserve. So I don't know what can be more bullish. And Trump is accumulating basically almost only Ethereum. We'll see. I mean, it's very promising. And they also led this guy, what was his? Not from Tornado Cash, I think. Yeah, so a lot of people were released from prison who were, not really guilty of what they were charged with. So it kind of shows that the hope for DeFi is there. That's why I'm also interested in creating EVEDEX US. This is what I'm flying to Washington for shortly, actually, in a couple of days. So trying to become friends with the administration. I think that the future of crypto is certainly there, unless it's all one big rug pull, which I don't really think it is. And let's be honest, what I really like about Trump, you might love him or hate him, but what he doesn't understand and listen to is the fact that what Democrats don't understand is that the dollar is dying and it's gonna die. So it's like the changing world order by Ray Dalio.
Yeah.
He's so right. I mean, if you look at any colonial fiat garbage system, they all have died sooner or later because of one simple thing, it's inflation. So the countries lost their power and world reserve currency status. Right now, especially with China, Russia, all these conflicts, they need to solve something. Tariffs is not gonna be enough. But Bitcoin, maybe it will be. And maybe they understand it. So, and if they do, this will be absolutely cataclysmic in a good sense.
So where to invest? In Bitcoin?
Oh, man. I've been a fan of Ethereum for a long time. I know people are hating on it.
Okay.
But honestly, if you look at Solana, same thing, which is kind of a competitor. But there is a reason why we're not building EVEDEX on Solana. Because, it's maybe faster and cheaper than, Ethereum as a base layer. But at the same time, if Solana dies for 4 days again and EVEDEX just freezes together with it.
That's the reason. Wow.
Of course. Yeah, it's not reliable. Solana is great for meme coins. And look at all the infrastructurally important projects. They're all
only related to the meme coins. Only.
On Solana, there is maybe 10% of important projects. Everything else is coins. So on Ethereum, on the other hand, there is some coins, but mostly 70% of all the stuff is on Ethereum. Look at stable coins. They're not on Solana. They're on Ethereum mostly. For this reason, we've chosen Ethereum, Arbitrum, which is an L2 of Ethereum, to build our own rollup. In general, I think that I'm still super mega bullish on ETH because even if you look at the price action, you will say, what is this? Because honestly, down to 2,000, that's the levels of the bear market almost. Yeah. But I think there is a reason why. I think that some big people just want to buy more. And they've been suppressing it, and that's why it looks horrible, but not financial advice. But I think that once the pump comes, it will be like, holy, because I think that even if you look at the order books, at liquidity, at clusters on Ethereum, it's just abnormal. I'm not even talking about the funding raise.
Yeah, I heard about it, I saw it also.
It's powerful. 10K easy, maybe even 15, 20K. And I think once they let it go, once the change of hands finishes from the people who are impatient to the people like BlackRock who are going to be holding for the next 20 years.
20 years. Yeah, they can do it.
But the question is, how low are we going to go first? That's all. So that's why not financial advice. But that's my bet. Also, for example, LDO, Lido.
Why it's always grow before the ETH? Usually several hours before the ETH, Lido is going up. But I do not understand the idea of the Lido.
This is what, for example, Donald Trump is using to stake Ethereum. So Lido is just a staking platform where you can just stake Ethereum, basically. If they're going to introduce staking into Ethereum ETF in the United States, imagine what's going to happen. They're going to mostly use Lido, arguably. Because
they need to stake it.
Yes. One of the biggest TVLs of Ethereum is on Lido. And it's been a stable coin for a long time. It's actually, if you look at the price action, it's pretty strong. It has survived the fire, the nails, and everything above. I think that Lido, once they approve the staking for DTF, and I think that the volumes for Ethereum, at least short term, will surpass Bitcoin's, because Ethereum, okay, Bitcoin is a store of value, but Ethereum, it's fundamentally important. It's got more utility. It's more deflationary, depending on the volume. And most importantly, it pays dividends. Bitcoin doesn't. Ethereum, if you think about S&P 500, US stocks usually have no dividends, or maybe 0.5%, 1%, something very little. That's just the nature of the market. And then there is a deflationary asset that is almost basically capped. And we have important infrastructure products that are going to be possibly used by the United States. And it also gives you 3 to 4% a year. Holy, they're going to absolutely jump on it. And the reason why they didn't is because they didn't approve staking. They had to remove it. But now if you pay attention to details, for example, Kraken recently, they removed staking because of SEC. But now even before the approval, they reintroduced it. So, I mean, Kraken is a US platform. They know what's coming. So they will introduce staking into DTF, and once they do, and they're going to use Lido or a combination of services, something like Lido will do 10x. Like probably in a day, it's going to show 100% stick up. So that's why I'm kind of looking at it, and I've been buying a little bit.
Where do you find all the information about in the market? Do you have some summary from your team?
I have traders, I have analysts. Like 5 people in my team are just traders and analysts who feed me information. One guy actually lives at my villa now.
Okay.
He lives at my villa because we trade together. He sits in my office next to me, and he analyzes the market, and we trade together as well. We always talk, like I have a small community. All of them are my employees or my partners in the team, and we always constantly discuss. We send each other news. We discuss what could happen next every single day. Every day. So that's why it's like processing information every single day.
They just prepare some information and then filling it too.
No, we just feed each other as it comes.
Yeah,
whatever comes out, we immediately discuss it. So we have a chat of like 5 people, and we always discuss internally.
What do you think about the Ripple?
I've never been a fan of Ripple. Happily, I was holding an old bag of about 50K.
Yeah.
So once it did 6x, I was like, nice, thank you. So it was great. But overall, the problem for Ripple, for example, right now, Trump actually
ignored it.
Well, yes, that's for one. But number 2, Ripple, from what I understood, they were hoping for CBDCs.
But he banned it.
He banned them. So, and I was surprised that it didn't crash. Overall, price action-wise, I will hold it. I'll probably sell it at $5. I don't really believe in it as much. And there's also, like, not jumping into too much details, but in my subjective opinion, humble opinion, maybe I'm wrong, market cap doesn't justify the value of XRP as a coin itself. Ripple is a company, but utility-wise, there is a lot of lack of connection between the coin and the company. So there are a lot of issues. So, it's like Toncoin. It's a great stuff. It's Telegram and all this. But if you look at tokenomics, you look at the supply held by certain entities, it looks like scam, kind of,
I know.
So, but I still hold it, because I think that at $10, it should hit $10, But do I hope it's going to go to $100? Not really.
No.
So that's about it. Yeah, just being objective.
What do you think about Moonshot and Jupiter as a main? If you're familiar with this, because after the Trump coin and Melania coin, they made a huge growth, and I think that Moonshot can become the new Robinhood.
Possible. To be honest, I'm not that familiar. I understand what they do, but for me, I hold Jupiter. I don't have Moonshot. I hold Jupiter because I think that in this space, it's one of the leaders. But to be honest, I'm more focused right now on
EVEDEX.
On EVEDEX. Yeah. I think that it's going to be the pioneer of DeFi for the next at least few years, or hopefully a decade.
So it will be launched in April for the wide audience.
Yeah, wide audience, give or take.
And it took you less than a year to develop it.
Yeah. Thanks to a very smart team and quite a few $1 million, yes.
Really? Mm. Do they work 24/7?
A lot of people in my C-level, they don't even have salaries.
They haven't...
People believe in what we do. And I mean, for example, our CEO, she doesn't have a salary because we are self-funded. She makes money from other things we do.
Yeah.
But for example, she does a lot of the work in EVEDEX. But from there, but I didn't say this, so I didn't cut people on purpose, saying, They said themselves, listen, we understand that you're paying like so much money. We don't want any salary. For example, my operational director doesn't get a salary. My co-founder doesn't have a salary. My CTO, who's been built, like his salary should be at least $30,000 a month. He's been making $5,000.
Okay.
So it's just because he wanted to support the family, pay rent and this and that, so etc. So a lot of the people in EVEDEX team, we still have crazy overhead. We still spend upwards of $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a month on different stuff.
Oh my gosh.
audits, marketing, teams. It's so much stuff. It's crazy. Like sometimes I get the bill, I'm like, and I want to pass out. And that's why we tried to minimize it to the best of our ability. But that's why we were able to build it so fast. People really believe in it because they see how all in we all are. So, because we are actually solving a problem. It's not just a business.
And this is not venture backed. It's like self-funded.
Yeah, it's fully self-funded. We did a small round. So we have Foresight Ventures, we have Morningstar Ventures and Arbitrum Foundation on board, and a couple of angels. Just friends came in basically, but it's all very small, very small. It's it's less than 5% of what I've put in. The point when I was doing it, and it actually has cost me at least 3 times more than what it actually did because
You trade?
No, I trade, I invest. And at that time, I understood I have these, let's say, X amount of millions of dollars. Okay. I can either put it into EVEDEX or I can put it into crypto.
Okay.
And if I did put it into crypto, it would, mostly this kind of money I would put in basically into Bitcoin mostly because like about 60% that I hold is still Bitcoin. So I would have made probably 3x of the money. So the EVEDEX has actually cost me because if you don't make on something, it's basically the same as losing, in my opinion. So yeah, it's been a huge sacrifice, not from just the team's perspective, from my own perspective, and sacrificing the possible extra gains on the bull market. But we believe in it. And I think that this is something that can put us on the map as a very strong team that actually solves a problem and brings people their financial freedom back. So that's our motto.
Guys, we're done for today. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to do what you love because you are the only person who can do it.